Once, a man lost his wife and lived with his daughter. Nearby, a woman who had also lost her husband lived with her own daughter. The girls often played together and visited each other's homes. One day, the woman told the man's daughter, "Tell your father I wish to marry him. If he agrees, you will wash in milk and drink wine every day, while my daughter will wash in water and drink water." The girl conveyed the message to her father. Troubled, he decided to leave the decision to fate. He said, "Take this boot with a hole in it, fill it with water, and hang it in the loft. If it holds the water, I'll marry her." The girl followed his instructions, and the boot miraculously held the water. Reluctantly, the man married the woman. Initially, the stepmother kept her promise, but soon both girls were given only water to wash and drink. Thus, she grew jealous of the man's daughter, who was beautiful and kind, while her own daughter was plain and mean. The stepmother's envy turned into cruelty, and she sought to get rid of her stepdaughter. One winter's day, she made a paper dress and ordered her stepdaughter to fetch strawberries from the forest. Despite her protests, the girl was sent out with only a piece of hard bread. In the snowy woods, she found a small house with 3 little men. She greeted them politely, shared her bread, and warmed herself by their stove. Impressed by her kindness, the little men gave her 3 gifts. She would grow more beautiful every day. Gold pieces would fall from her mouth whenever she spoke, and a king would marry her. They also directed her to a spot behind her house where she found ripe strawberries, even in the snow. She thanked them and returned home. At home, her stepmother and stepsister were astonished when gold coins fell from her mouth as she spoke. The stepsister demanded to go to the forest herself. Dressed in a luxurious fur coat and carrying cake and butter, she set off. However, she rudely refused to share her food with the little men or help them clean their yard. Annoyed by her behavior, the little men cursed her. She would grow uglier every day. Toads would leap from her mouth when she spoke, and she would meet a miserable end. The stepsister returned home empty-handed, and as she began to speak, toads jumped from her mouth, horrifying everyone. The stepmother's hatred for her stepdaughter deepened. She sent her to rinse yarn in an icy river, hoping the cold would kill her. While she worked, a king passing by saw her beauty and asked about her plight. The girl explained her situation, and the king, moved by her story, offered to take her away. Grateful, she agreed, and they married. The stepmother, hearing of her stepdaughter's newfound happiness, devised a plan. She and her daughter visited the palace, pretending to be well-wishers. When the king was away, they seized the queen, threw her into a river, and replaced her with the ugly daughter. The stepmother covered the impostor with a veil, claiming the queen was unwell. That night, a scullion saw a duck swimming up the palace gutter. The duck transformed into the queen, who cared for her baby and disappeared before dawn. This happened for 2 more nights. On the 3rd night, the queen told the scullion to inform the king to swing his sword 3 times over her on the threshold. The king did so, and the queen was restored to life. At the baby's christening, the king asked what punishment was suitable for someone who tried to harm another and take their place. The stepmother, unaware she was condemning herself, suggested being placed in a barrel studded with nails and rolled into the river. The king ordered her and her daughter to be placed in such a barrel, which was then rolled down a hill into the river, ensuring they could do no more harm. The queen and king lived happily with their child, fulfilling the blessings granted by the 3 little men.